best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. It's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero. It's time for another episode of the Best of Bias podcast, WandaVision review. And you know, if it's a WandaVision review, you know who's in the building today. Who's in the building today?
AKA
is back for another review all day. You know,
that new location.
Okay, yeah. And we love in the background.
Don't mind the clock. The clock is just for show. It don't work.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Even the dead clock is right 2 times a day. Ha ha ha. But yeah. That was Stephen A. I stole that from him. But yeah, basically, we're going to get into the, the WandaVision review. You know what's going on. Episode 7 and 8, we have to get into those. Last episode we reviewed was episode 6, I believe. So we're a little behind, but we got to catch up because I know y'all fanning out over it. Like I said, it's one of the most streamed shows in the world right now. So we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it and get everybody's feelings and, bring everybody together in one place to discuss what's going on in this wonderful show. So basically, let's start off with episode 7. What was you thinking about episode 7?
I thought episode 7 was dope. I liked the whole the beginning because I'm a fan of The Office, and the style was like The Office mixed with Modern Family.
Right.
And they did a pretty good job. I like the fact that she is like it's continuing from the day before. She's still in her little costume when she's in the bed, kind of, and it was pretty good. It had a lot of like little reveals and stuff happened that I was expecting to happen, and just setting up for something better. You can tell it is.
Yeah, episode 7 kind of like like I said before, we were discussing before we started recording. Episodes 5, 6, and 7 did a really good job of like leaving us on edge. By the end of the episode, we were like left wondering what's going to happen in the next episode. The previous episode 6, her and Vision kind of got into a fight. Vision was kind of wondering who he was and where he came from, why he can't remember who he was in the past, and why everybody seems to be tripping around in town. So her waking up in bed in this episode and a new Modern Family, Malcolm in the Middle style TV show. It was just kind of cool to see in the continuance. She woke up and things just kind of started going crazy from the beginning. She was eating cereal, and the milk was changing. Everything in her house was kind of changing through the eras. We started off in the 60s. So a lot of the stuff that was showing up in the 60s was popping up. Her power seemed to be going to fritz. What do you think was going on there?
I don't know, because she didn't even know what was going on. And, it was even happening to the boys, and the boys are like sitting there trying to figure out why their controls are changing from like different systems to Uno cards.
Yeah.
I know when they
go ahead.
I think there was like was it a GameCube one, and that was nostalgic as hell. Remember, you had the GameCube back in the day.
Yeah, and then after they came back for when Scarlet Witch or Wanda came inside the room, they had Wii controllers. When everybody used to play Wii tennis and shit, they had those controllers too. So it's super nostalgic. But man, we still were left wondering what was going on. The TVs were changing, the fireplaces were changing, the wallpapers were changing, like a bunch of weird stuff was going on. And then right when, stuff got at the peak of its weirdness, Agnes walks in.
Oh yeah, like she always does.
I mean? Like she always does. What do you think that was about?
I mean, that was obvious because I already figured out who she was. I knew who she was from the get-go because of just her name and the whole situation with Scarlet Witch, the character in the comics. But that character's old as hell, like physically and like actually, like she looks old, and Agnes doesn't look old.
Right.
So it could have been somebody else. MCU does that sometimes. They'll like leave stuff hanging out there, and they will or won't make it that depending on what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But she always had that weird vibe about her. But I can't remember the lady's name who plays her, but she's always been a good actor. I love her in Step Brothers and stuff.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And The Goods, she was hilarious.
The Goods. Oh yeah, The Goods. That was hilarious.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's like, especially it's kind of epic that Disney actually brought her on because her comedies are more a little like raunchy. So to have her be a person, even the jokes she's been saying in WandaVision have been a little raunchy too. Like
Yeah, they
Like,
have.
look at this mole. Like, she was kind of giving away that she was actually a witch and who she
Yeah,
was.
because the whole witch having moles thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Would you look at this mole? It's right above my oop. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
She's
when she's walking out with the boys, she's
right.
asking them to do it
Yeah,
too.
right. And the funny part when she's like, "I bit a kid once." That shit was hella funny.
Mhm.
He said, "I don't bite. I've bit a kid once." That little interview style of like The Office and shit like that
Oh
was
yeah.
kind of
And
epic.
also when Scarlet Witch sat down and was talking to the camera and it talked back to her, that was funny because she's like, "Hey, wait, you're not supposed to talk back."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super epic. Yeah. So at this point, we're also dealing with the aftermath of her extending the hex, the bubble, out and taking
Yeah.
over all these shield agents. Even old girl from Thor got taken into the bubble.
Oh
And then once she
yeah.
went to the hex, everything changed. So once you're inside the Westview hex, it changes and morphs you into something from one of these generations. It kind of was like mixed because her
Yeah.
powers are on the fritz.
That's
But
what I thought the reason why her powers were on the fritz and like acting up was because she expanded the hex so much and it was like depleting her powers or messing with them or something. But I mean, who knows what really going on? Because a lot of this stuff she seems like they even know what's going on.
right, exactly, because she's still kind of oblivious to how everything was started. Because in the beginning of the episode, she was just now starting to snap out of the TV show and all the sitcom eras and kind of seeing shit that makes her, realize that this is not really a reality that we're actually living in. It might be a little different. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's episode 7. And episode 7 and 8 gave away just a little bit, didn't really reveal too much, but it's like connective tissue for all the episodes we watched so far.
But it set up some stuff like Monica Rambo, her scene. I was kind of mad with the whole like the last couple episodes, her talking about she knows what was it like a engineer who could help her get into the hex.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
I'm waiting for somebody a big reveal, and
Hmm.
it turned out to be I don't know who the hell that person is. Maybe they'll bring something in later on, but I was kind of disappointed.
I heard that it could have been one of the Skrulls' daughter, like the Skrulls' daughter from Captain Marvel. Because you know
Oh,
what I'm
we're
saying, her dad
friends,
got killed,
yeah.
and her and Monica became friends,
And she
and
can
maybe
shapeshift. That's right. Yeah.
exactly. So and that technology was kind of advanced, so maybe she got it from the Skrull who helped her out, but it
Uh,
didn't really
I,
reveal
I
that.
I never thought of that, but yeah, it's a possibility. That's
Yeah, you know
right.
what I'm saying? So, there's a bunch of theories everybody has, and we've been proved wrong over and over. Some of them we've been right, like this one. A lot of the stuff in this episode kind of if you know who Agatha Harkness is, a lot of the stuff that points to it being her early in the series, just the fact that she was wearing purple a lot. She was wearing this brooch that Agatha wore all the time in the comics. So if you notice that she was wearing that on, you kind of see that she was, the show's kind of steering her to be that character.
Mhm.
You know a lot about Agatha Harkness, right? You were kind of
I don't
explaining
know.
it a little bit about. Oh,
I don't know a ton about it, but I know enough about it. Like I've seen her in a couple of the cartoons, and I know that she in the comics she's not necessarily bad, but she
right.
is. If that makes any sense. Like
Yeah.
she kind of becomes a mentor for Scarlet Witch for a while, but then she
Exactly.
also betrays her and
Hmm.
all kind of weird stuff.
Because
You
Scarlet
know.
Witch kind of is fucking crazy as well at points in the comics.
Well,
So.
well, she goes crazy, which is why I was saying that they might set up like the House of M or something like that, because I know she goes crazy when her kids are taken away from her, which
Hmm.
they're not really her kids, but they are. It's weird.
Right.
But when she loses her kids that she never actually had, that's when she kind of loses her mind and starts going crazy. Which is why I think that it's a possibility it could be setting up something like for House of M in a
Hmm.
way. But if I'm correct, I believe the House of M had like Wolverine was like one of the main characters in that. So
Hmm.
I gotta go back and look it up again, but I'm pretty sure he was like I think when like she switched, if I'm correct, House of M was when they were trying to kill her because she kept changing everything. She kept changing realities,
Hmm.
and Magneto was like trying to get some way to fix it, and then he was like, there's nothing we could do. We have to kill her. And then Quicksilver heard about it and did his little big brother thing and went over there and was like basically made her give everybody in the world their dream, whatever their dream was.
Right.
And what ends up happening is it changes from the mutants being the minorities to the mutants being like in charge, and the humans are like the minorities, and like the mutants are ruling the world. and everybody's happy. Like everybody's story is happy, and then the only person who remembers the real world is Wolverine because his brain has been messed with so
Right.
many
Yeah.
times. So that's pretty much what the story was there, and I don't know how they would play it in here because in here mutants haven't even existed yet,
Right.
so we think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We don't know what's going on. Because shoot, all this.
because if we break down Monica Rambeau getting her powers, because that happens eventually in the show in the seasons in episode 7. It was like, why come nobody else got that?
Yeah.
There's other cats who went through there and they're fine. They're
Yeah,
normal.
we haven't necessarily noticed yet because everybody's under mind control, and maybe Wanda's not allowing them to use their powers. You know what I mean?
Could have been, could be.
You know what I'm saying? So they're so suppressed after I'm thinking maybe after the bubble or the hex is gone, maybe they'll realize that they have these powers.
I think what it is that not everybody's gonna get powers. I think that people who already have latent mutant genes or something in there,
It's gonna
and the hex.
activate.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I see. The cells are just gonna get activated from going through.
So if they do that, then they can always say that, oh yeah, there were still mutants like Wolverine who's old as hell, or Apocalypse who are old as hell, who actually had their powers, but this just gave a little jump start to everybody else's whose latent mutant genes are in there or something like that.
Yep.
Which would be a good story. It would be a good,
Absolutely. And perfect segue to bring up Monica Rambeau, how she tried again. She met up with her friend who was going to try to get her back into the hex or help her, the engineer that was going to help her. A lot of people were saying maybe this wasn't the engineer she was actually going to meet. This was just somebody midway that was going to help her out, try to figure something out in mid-time. Maybe next episode is the one where they're going to reveal the engineer. I know Doctor Strange is probably going to end up in the last episode because they have to connect that.
And they were also talking about a cameo that the writers and directors were talking about a cameo. It hasn't happened yet. Apparently, I don't know if it happened. I doubt it happened in this one because I didn't see anything special in the last. But it hasn't happened yet. So,
yep.
Yeah.
I feel it. But yeah, when Monica Rambeau walked through the hex, she tried to get through this fancy ass truck. Truck couldn't get through. It started going up the wall instead of through the wall. This high tech super space truck. She had a spacesuit on. Because if I was her, I would have just tried to walk through again because fuck, you walked through a couple times and you ain't dying. You didn't get no cancer or nothing like that. You might as well just try to walk through again.
Did you notice how when she was in that thing, she like ripped the roof off that damn thing by herself? Go back and look at it. She rips the damn roof off.
I thought it was like one of those like tank latches things.
No, she didn't. She didn't unlatch anything. She just got up and ripped it off. If you look, the whole thing comes off.
Damn.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't just open up.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying she probably already had some powers that we didn't know about.
Right.
Yeah. Which is why she wasn't really seemed worried when they said that her genes were being messed with. She just like brushed it off like she didn't care. Most folks, if you tell me that my genes are being messed with, I'm thinking like Chernobyl.
Yeah. She must have known that. Maybe she got tested when she was a little kid and she knew that shit already.
Maybe being around what's her name so long, that could have gave her some, kind of powers.
And she never goes to the doctor or nothing like that because she knows the doctors will look into her charts and kind of try to explain to her that she's a mutant. That's why she was in the doctor for this time. She's like, nah, it's good. I'm out of here. I feel that. But when she did go through and she was walking through the hex trying to get in to confront Wanda, she was hearing voices from her mom and Carol Danvers telling her that she could be a hero. Go ahead.
Yeah, and she was like split into like different versions of herself.
Right.
Which to me, I'm thinking of the multiverse. I don't know, that's what I was thinking. But the thing was, they were like actual versions of herself at different points in time, different points in time. Yeah. So.
But that was
pretty dope,
though. Yep. And when she came through, she had the blue eyes, and we realized that she had her powers. And she was looking, and saw the sound waves and shit.
And she's gonna be because in the comics she's a pretty powerful character.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna be bringing because they have a lot of characters in like the Marvel universe who are like good, but they're not really powerful. Star-Lord and Hawkeye, and they're good, but they're no like on that OP Omega level, like Thor and shit. And we originally had Thor, Hulk. Who else was inside the MCU who's like really powerful like that?
Juggernaut.
No. I'm talking about the MCU.
Oh, the regular movie cinematic universe. Yeah. I don't know. Everybody else they dumbed down. Like Drax, they dumbed down. They, They may do.
I mean, I think that what's his name is really strong, of course, Doctor Strange, but he's just fucking cheat code.
Right, yeah, he can do anything. They can't even pretty much even think of everything for him to do. It's kind of that's what I think about the Green Lantern sometimes too. It's like how could
Well,
you even
yeah,
how could you even think of what to put on the screen when you can do anything at any time? It's like it's too wide open to do everything.
I mean, all you
But
can really do is just have somebody who's strong enough to break his stuff, but eventually he gets like ridiculously strong. So yeah, Doctor
yeah,
Strange is like that 100%. I mean, look how he beat the devil. He just like not the devil, but the guy's name again. But when he sat there and kept rewinding time and telling
oh
you
yeah.
like,
Was that Galactus
no, it wasn't
or
Galactus. It was Dormammu.
Dormammu? Yeah, somewhere that yeah. So I keep thinking, what was fuck? I forgot what movie it was where they dumbed down the villain. He was just a big ass cloud.
That was a Fantastic Four, and that was Galactus.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering. I was like,
toilet water,
he was just a big ass cloud coming to Earth. Yeah,
I hated that, and they like Silver Surfer. I know they were trying to like it looked. I understand they're trying to keep it like trying to make it look like the comic book, but I feel like sometimes when you bring stuff to live action, it needs to be changed in some way.
Yeah,
they could have found a way to make him look, like they did with Vision. Vision, like he doesn't look like his comic book self really at all, really. But I mean, I knew who he was the second he popped up. I was like, oh, that's Vision instantly. I mean, Thor looks more like his regular self. Oh, that shit, the dogs are coming out right now. But
we can take a break in a second.
No, the dog is crazy. But forgot what I was talking about when they came out.
It's all good. But we can just talk about Monica Rambeau's powers that did manifest in the comic books. She can do shit like she can see energy waves, radio waves. She can become energy. She can become electricity. She can go into the end, like in the comic books I read, she does hella shit. She can become lasers.
She like can move solar at the speed of light.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. She's definitely an Omega level mutant, 100%.
I'm pretty sure she can possess electronics. Like she can do shit like that.
I don't know, but I gotta look at it a little bit more. I don't really, to be honest, I'm not like super familiar with her. I just know that like she got dicked around as far as her name in the comics.
Oh yeah, I definitely have read many. Actually, I read like almost a whole series on. I forgot what team it was she was on, but she was on a fucking raw ass team, and fuck, I gotta look it up, and I'll get back to you guys on that. But it was showing her power. She would go ahead of everybody, do like like surveillance work because she can go in the wires and tap everything, just absorb. She can do hella shit. Like that's why I keep like when I talked about Halo, that character on DC, that just has a whole bunch of OP powers, a collective powers.
Yeah.
It's OP though what Monica Rambeau can do. That's why I was kind of interested that she was actually going to bring her to the MCU because she could be more powerful than everybody else, potentially.
But I wonder if she has that whole like drawback, like the whole Bishop thing, where she can only absorb a certain amount of power, before it becomes like an issue.
It's on a high level, though. I think it's on a high level.
It is, but it's also depending on what the MCU wants to do. Because
exactly.
If you remember, I think I talked about this before, but X-Men when they had Darwin, and you already know, like in the comic, that dude is an Omega level mutant if his powers deem it necessary.
Yeah.
But the thing is like you can't do anything to hurt him because his powers is going to get him out of any kind of situation, no matter what it is. I mean, when he was fighting the Hulk, his powers was like, oh, we can't beat him. I'm going to put you somewhere else.
Right.
It's like, so even when he got destroyed, his body got destroyed, his powers were like, all right, well, then you don't need a body. We'll just make you into energy.
I feel it.
But in the movie, they just killed him off with some stupid way. Like, oh, let's let him absorb a bunch of energy and then he'll die. Which would have never happened in the comic,
Yeah, true. Yeah, but maybe an unpopular statement, but have any of those X-Men movies actually been good?
That one was good. First Class?
Yeah, First Class. It was cool.
I was upset with them making like Scott Summers, Scott Summers, but his brother, Havoc, the older brother, in the comic,
I kind of mixed it up, yeah.
Yeah, I hated that, and I hated what they did to Darwin, but other than that, I thought the movie was good. I thought it was real good.
I liked X3 actually.
Which one was that again?
The one where they're in San Francisco and they had that little boy that his power was like basically cancels out everybody's mutant gene.
Yeesh, I hated that one. I hated that one.
I just liked it for the fact. I like it for the action. I don't know. There's a lot of fighting in it. I'm not.
I'm gonna be.
Sometimes.
I didn't even like part one. X-Men 1 I thought was garbage. The fight scenes. The only fight scenes that were kind of good was Toad, and that was only for a brief moment.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they weren't that good. I didn't like the fact that they had Sabretooth. He didn't like have any kind of connection to Wolverine except for he had his dog tags, and they didn't explain that. And yeah, I mean, only one that I would say that I liked was Days of Future Past, but not the future part. I hated the future part, but
Yeah.
everything else about that movie was fucking awesome to me.
Yeah, actually, that was super anticipated. I hella like that one actually too. I saw it in theaters. I missed the movie theaters. Now that I got vaccinated, maybe I'll go back to the theaters.
Oh, you got the vaccination? Did you get? How did that go?
I got my first dose. It was like a drive-through over here in Pleasanton. You just drive through there. You talk to them, get a little interview, ask your symptoms and shit, and then they just give me the shot through the window. Actually, it was a drive-through.
Did you get sick or anything after this?
No, my arm was just sore. I didn't really get sick at all. Just a little drowsy for the day, and the day after I was a little tired.
You got to go back and get more or get another dose or something?
Yeah, on the 25th of March is my second dose, and then I'll be completely vaccinated. But I got my first dose now. So
is that one work against all the different weird mutated strands and stuff?
I believe so. It's the Pfizer.
I know Wendy's been my sister-in-law's been trying to convince me and my brother Chris to get him, and I don't know. I'm waiting to see what happens to other people first because, I mean, even though we're in 2021, I still think like what is it again? The Tuskegee experiments and shit like that.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to be the person like, oh, well, it was 2001, and then next thing I know, I got like one eye and like I'm growing an extra ass or something. I don't know.
I feel you for sure. I was just trying to, cause like I got a new job for like in the medical field, so I was
most
essential worker. So like either 65 or above, or essential workers get it first. So I was able to sneak in there and get on the list and just get it out of the way. My arm has just been a little sore.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, other than that, nothing else has been really happening. But I'm grateful for that, just so I can start going places and go to the movies and go to like some other places. But
yeah, last time I got a flu shot, I got sick as hell. It was like the worst. I don't get sick very often, and I told the lady that over and over, like I don't ever get sick, and she's like, "Oh, you probably should take it." I'm like, I haven't got sick in like 6 years. She gave me the shot that night. I'm at work throwing up. I'm like, I can't do anything, and I feel like crap. And then the next day I had to help my mom in a move from an upstairs apartment. And I was like, I could barely move. I felt like crap.
I feel that. Well, yeah, if you have the opportunity, man, I'll let you know after I get my second dose, I'm feeling. But let's get back to this WandaVision, because I do want to get into some news after we talk about episode 8. Some questions for you, how you feel about some releases that are coming out and some advances that are coming out. So, but yeah, back to episode 7. We saw her get her powers. We saw, some of her, powers. She can see the radio waves coming off the, the electric poles. Some people were saying,
I don't know if it was a radio wave. I thought maybe it was like the power that's like transmuting to like keep the hex going or something like that. I thought she was saying that.
Exactly. That's why people were kind of saying that maybe after she got her power, she's seeing what is controlling Wanda or making Wanda transmute all this stuff.
And if you notice, like whenever she sees certain, like her power is like blue, Wanda's is red, right? I believe.
Yeah.
And the other ones are purple and stuff. But whenever she sees certain stuff, her eyes turn the color of whatever power she's looking at. If you notice that.
That's epic.
I didn't see the red, but I did see the purple. And I was like confused if she was being mind controlled or if she was actually like seeing it, because she hasn't really done anything yet. I don't know. She doesn't even know her powers. Well, at least I don't think she does. That whole superhero pose she did.
I know.
But
let's get to that point real quick. When she gets in the hex and figures out she has, starts seeing these waves and stuff, she makes her way to Wanda's house to confront Wanda. It's like a second or third time actually trying to confront Wanda in the hex. And just, he wants to let her know, man, like, what's going on? We know what's happening from the outside in. Your hex is controlling people. What are you doing with these missing people?
She started to get to her too, huh?
Right. Yeah, she did. She started to let her know. Wanda started listening. She was like, what are you doing here? She thinks Monica has something to do with, she thinks she's a bad guy, part of SWORD, trying to like hurt her and her family or something like that. You know what I mean? And then once Wanda starts, trying to, throw her out of the hex again, she starts to realize that Monica is kind of stronger. She has powers. She drops out of the sky from Wanda's hold and drops in her little superhero landing. And then she looks up and has the blue eyes again, ready to fight. But then that's when we notice that Agnes is looking out of the window from next door, noticing the confrontation outside.
Yeah.
Showing up just the nick of time like she always does. Kind of crazy. And then she shows up to the confrontation and tries to take Wanda away from the situation as Monica is trying to kind of sway Wanda that what she's doing is bad, that she's there, Monica's there to help Wanda. She doesn't want to fight. And she just wants to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, she's basically trying to help her out because she knows she's like lost, has a great amount of loss, and she just lost her mother, which is fucking horrible. So she's like trying to help her out, but at the same time, she's trying to warn her, like, if you keep this up, you got that crazy dude out there who is already trying to get Vision, and he's basically trying to kill you. He's not trying to. He looks at you as a threat.
Yeah,
and I really want to know what his full deal is because he's like the asshole.
Right. Yeah, he's not really trying to help the situation. He's trying to destroy everything. Even though there's people in there, they don't know if they're alive or dead, if they're like actual figments of her imagination that she's creating, but they know that there are other people inside there besides Wanda, and they're trying to blow the whole place up. So after Agnes comes out and notices the confrontation, Agnes takes Wanda over to her house to kind of calm down and just kind of take her away from Monica before she kind of convinces her.
Her house is the Bewitched house. My bad.
Right. Oh yeah. Whose house was it?
It's the house from Bewitched.
Which one? Who? Agnes' house?
Yeah.
That's epic. Yeah, they did say that. I saw a video about that. Dope. They did so much. They did really good research and really good background when they did the show.
100%.
Once they get to Agnes's house, Wanda realizes that her boys are supposed to be over there because Agnes was watching them as she was at home trying to get a little alone time after her fight with Vision. She's like, where are my kids at? And then Agnes is kind of being strange. She's not in the living room anymore with Wanda. She's somewhere being hella sneaky about some shit. She's like, oh, they're playing in the basement.
Yeah.
Why are the kids playing in the basement?
Yeah, because Wanda noticed that the food wasn't fully eaten. Like their food wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't really eaten.
And before that, they were playing with Senor Scratchy.
Yeah, Senor Scratchy.
I'm wondering if that's like her son, because her son is like, I think his name was, I forgot what his damn name was, but it's something like Scratchy or something Scratch something.
She in the comic book, Agatha Harkness has a cat that is Senor Scratch or something like Scratchy or something like that.
No, her kid. She has a kid. She has a son.
Well, basically, what the video I watched, how she's petting the rabbit in the comic book, she has a cat
that is true.
Pets
That's
just
right.
like that, and it turns into an actual full-size panther.
That is correct. Yeah,
so it's like a super monster. So she in episode 8, something weird happens that I'll touch on. That kind of points to maybe she transmuted him into a bunny. But anyways, as she goes down there to look for the kids in the basement, she starts to notice a bunch of vines and roots and a whole bunch of bullshit in the basement. Looks hella ominous and weird. But at this point, we don't know what's going on. We still think that Agnes is just a neighbor that just shows up at the right time. But even though the real fans know who she is already, it's just kind of more and more pointing to the fact that she is this person and is pointing our theories right, making our theories right.
Yeah.
Once she gets down there, she first sees a book covered in magic. It was kind of glowing purple and red, purple and orange.
It was glowing kind of reddish and purple. Yeah, I think it was reddish and purple. It looked sinister as hell. It looked like the Necronomicon. Remember that?
What is that?
You never seen like Army of Darkness and stuff? The little movie. Yeah, you're a little bit younger. You're a lot younger than me. But the Army of Darkness, like Evil Dead. You ever seen those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they used to have a book in there called the Necronomicon, and it was like a weird book with like a monster face on it, but it was like the book of dark magic and dark spells and shit. And yeah, if you ever watch the Army of Darkness, it's a funny scene where he has to like say these certain phrases before he picks the book up, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember it." Then he gets there and he can't remember it, so he's like,
Miranda!
It's hella funny.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, which is kind of in the same lines of like a book of dark magic.
After I watched another review video on YouTube, they said it kind of looked like one of the books from Doctor Strange, where he was.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. Where's the place that he was guarding? What was it called?
Oh, that the library of, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. I know what you're talking about, the one where their mama's people broke in there and stole like a page out of a book. Yeah.
Right, and there was a book missing in one of the scenes there, so it could be a book of dark magic that she stole from them that was trapped by her magic, because magic didn't work down there in that basement for some reason. Wanda tried to use her magic against Agnes, but it didn't really work. I think it was episode 8.
8, yeah, it was 8. That's 100%. Yeah.
But once they get down there, Agnes actually reveals that Wanda's not the only magical witch in Westview, and she was actually in control of a lot of stuff that was been going on.
Oh yeah,
Westview. It wasn't all Wanda, even though Wanda thought she was controlling everything. She revealed she was a witch named Agatha Harkness, kind of revealing that we were right all along, that our hunch was correct. She was a witch. She was manipulating Wanda, making her do things in the town that she thought she was doing. Vision thought she was doing, and it kind of causing her a lot of stress. What do you think about that reveal?
She didn't reveal all that. She just revealed that it was Agatha all along. The song is catchy. It's the Monster song. Well, kind of. It's like a variation of the Monster song.
Yeah.
Like I seen like a lot of people talking about it being like the Addams Family, which if you know the Addams Family is not like that. It's and that one is more of like the Monster song. But yeah, she revealed that she was kind of the director behind everything that was going on.
Right, yep. She had a little purple magic behind a lot of major scenes throughout the series that we thought were just super random, but it was actually Agatha Harkness.
Including Pietro.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that, because, I mean, I knew it would be a real stretch for him to be the actual one from the X-Men, but I was hoping that was like their branch or something to like pull that into there. But at the same time, I really don't want, because like some of the cast from the X-Men movies, I didn't like their picks, but some of them were great.
Right.
Including Quicksilver. Quicksilver was probably one of my favorite casts other than Wolverine and the original Xavier. Even the second Xavier was good, but that was kind of disheartening. But at the same time, I was like, it still makes for a good story, and I like the theme song, so I was going along with it.
Yeah, that was a super reveal. I was happy that they actually made a whole little cut scene for it, letting everybody know what she was involved in, what she was responsible for, so that the people that weren't really back researched and weren't really like super Marvel heads can know that she has powers and she was behind some of the stuff that was going on, and it wasn't all Wanda. And just kind of puts to bed, I don't know, maybe it didn't put to bed some of these Mephisto kind of theories that we've been thinking. People have been putting out there Mephisto and Nightmare, a couple of these people that could be manipulating both of them, because in episode... Go ahead.
I think Nightmare is a little less known than Mephisto, and Mephisto, I think, was a little more of what makes sense, only because the boys in the comic are, because Vision can't have kids,
Yeah.
So when Wanda created them, they're actually like real for that time period. So they're like mixed with her and some of Mephisto's spirit. And that's how they're real. So it's like that would be a good segue to bring him in somehow. I don't know how he would fit in there, but he would definitely be like a Thanos level character,
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, and that people are saying that too, or they can just name Mephisto Nightmare, because I guess the devil is not allowed to be portrayed in this kind of stuff in China, so they wouldn't be able to release it.
Yeah.
So they said something like that.
There's a couple characters that are like considered the devil in the comic, and then they like over time they kind of develop them and make them. They're not really the devil. They're like a demon. Like what's his name again? Nightcrawler's dad at one point was portrayed to be like the devil, and then he's not really. He's just a really powerful demon. And I forgot who else. I think Hellstorm, his dad, was originally supposed to be the devil. He was supposed to be like the son of the devil, and then later on they changed that to make it where he wasn't. He was like just a high level demon. So Yeah, I mean, they can't really, they don't really use the devil in MCU anyways. They really
Yeah.
don't anymore. So I think they'd be able to do that. They just give them whatever name they have, Mephisto, uh, Dormammu. That's another demon or whatever. It's another one of those guys.
Hmm. I feel that.
So
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in episode 8, and we're gonna get into that review right after this break. We're gonna take a quick little break. I'm gonna get some water. Your boy's a little parched. Maybe take another little
I say
swizzle.
we didn't mention anything about the after credit scenes though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Before
Yeah.
that, we did see the confrontation. We did see the reveal that Agatha Harkness was behind it all along. Was Agatha all along? Mid-credit scenes. We actually got our first mid-credit scene this episode in episode 7. We see Monica making her way over to Agnes's house after the confrontation with her, Wanda, and Agnes. She doesn't go in the front door though. She sees one of those underground kind of downstairs into the basement kind of back door kind of things.
I have never seen one of those in real life, but only in movies.
They had them in Fortnite all the time too. Some weird ass little backstairs. I don't know, like what is it, like a tornado chamber, like where you go when tornadoes happen.
I think that's probably why we never see them over here because we don't get tornadoes.
Yeah. So Monica Rambo finds that, and it's actually funny because when she sees the vines, they glow purple. You can actually see the magic in them from
her
Agatha.
eyes glow purple too.
Yep, exactly, because she can see the energy and she can see the waves in the roots because of her new powers. I don't think they revealed that because the mid-credit scene is so short. But as she opens it and starts to notice that Pietro or Quicksilver, the one that we know, the one that's there, pops up behind her and says, "Snoopers are gonna snoop," and it kind of cuts out. So we don't necessarily know what happens because they actually don't really pick up from that in episode 8.
No, they don't at all. They pick up from when Agnes reveals that she has powers. So we'll get into episode 8.
We'll get into that right after this break. Go ahead and get you another refreshment if you got to fill up that red cup there. If you need to side, I don't know what you're gonna do.
I might go inside of there.
Yeah. So we'll be right back. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Don't you guys move. We got episode 8 coming out and some Marvel DC news. So don't touch that dial. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Yeah. And we back. You know what it is. It's your boy Lydell Dinero, aka in the building. We talking WandaVision. We're talking episode 8 now. We just went over episode 7. Hope you guys were able to keep up. We know we kind of rambled on some different topics, but episode 7 was cool. But now we talk about episode 8, where we got a lot of tie-ins, a lot of reveals, a lot of loose ends tied up for us. A lot of stuff we wanted to know, we were able to get closed up for us. Let's talk about episode 8. What'd you think about episode 8?
Me, I thought episode 8 was dope. I liked it. I know a lot of people weren't really feeling the same way I felt, but I thought it was like nice reveals of stuff that we kind of already knew, but it just gave us like set it in stone. Like, yeah, this is what really happened and the way it happened. I like the whole showing her as a kid, and they talked about the whole back in Age of Ultron, how a bomb hit their house, killed their parents, and they saw on the side of the bomb it says Stark Industry and stuff. And it also let you know that was the representation of that one commercial with the toaster that was blinking red. It made the same sound as the bomb that was sitting there blinking.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, the episode was dope. I think it had like a lot of little reviews, even though like a lot of people didn't like it because it they said it felt like it was just for the second to the last episode. It wasn't really that good. I thought it was great. I don't know. I liked it. Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah, there's a lot of aspects I liked about it. Me personally, I kind of thought it was like a filler episode. People that were kind of doing reviews on the podcast too, on the episodes too, I kind of felt like it was going to be a tie-in episode, show us how Agnes, came to being where she was now, some of those Wanda kind of flashbacks. This episode, I liked it a lot too, actually. I'm not even going front. I watched it again today. Kind of gave it a little better perspective. Some things I didn't catch the first time, like the fact that when she was little, she did a probability spell on the bomb, and that's why it didn't blow up. It wasn't a dud bomb. Stark don't make dud products.
And that And that's that's prior to her coming in contact with the Tesseract. So, aren't Tesseract, but the Mind Stone.
Milestone.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So that means that's where I was saying, like, you know, potentially they could be mutants already, because you can say that, oh, she was already like a witch or something like that, because you know what defines you being a witch, and that's why she was one of the only people to survive the trials when they were trying to, like, you know, genetically modify people during that whole situation. You know, when Hydra was doing it.
mhm.
But if that's the case, what was Quicksilver? Because he also survived it. He got powers.
Right.
So it's like that's a good little tie-in to making it something about you know, them having a mutant gene or something.
Exactly. Yep. And it kind of
Yeah.
like gave us a little background on Agna Harkness too. Agna Harkness, because showed her coven actually trying to kill her for using
Yeah.
dark magic, which is another kind of tie into like Doctor Strange too, because you know when they're using the dark magic in the Doctor Strange, it was represented as purple. So it could have
Quick
something to
question.
good.
Is yours messing up? Like, is it freezing up for me? Like, am I freezing up on you?
It was a little bit ago, not as much anymore.
Oh, because yours is completely frozen
Oh
for
really?
me. I can hear you fine though.
Oh, you're good. You're not frozen on mine, and I'm recording, so
Yeah.
you're straight. Um,
Yeah, that's all I was asking.
yeah, you're good. But yeah, once they
Okay.
show her getting like, you know, uh, put on a stake by her coven, they think that she's using the dark magic that's beyond her level, that she's not supposed to be fucking with. So you see all the
Oh,
witches
they don't
surrounding.
think it. She says it.
Oh yeah, she says it after a while, and she shows it after a while. But that's the reason why they're
Yeah.
putting her on the stake, anyways. So they all kind of like circle up around her, start using magic, doing magic spells on her, to what I think is supposed to be draining her of her powers and pretty much going to kill her.
Yeah.
But then after a while, she starts actually calling out to her mother, which I'm thinking is like one of the head witches. She
Clearly, she has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, she has to be because she's calling her mom or whatever. But as the witches start draining her of her power, Agnes's powers kind of start to reflect back at them and start killing the witches, draining them of their power and turning them into like zombies, because it's kind of like draining them,
Not, it,
sucking all that
it ain't kind
power
of.
out.
It's like sucking their life force. It looked like,
Yeah, and just killing
you
them.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
It
But
it reminded me of the Mummy, like when he was like
exactly, I was thinking that.
sucking people. Yeah. Yeah.
Sucking them
But
dry.
which is also weird because, you know, her mom sees what's happening to the other ones. What made her think, oh, I'm gonna do the
Yeah, let
same
me
thing?
try.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Yeah, because all in all, the mom, the head witch, tries to drain her to try to finish her off, but she ends up sucking her powers into and just draining the mom of her life force, and
that was
actually
back in
kills.
like the 1600s, right?
Yep. So it kind of just lets you know
Yeah.
that she can live for a very long time. She's very powerful. She got her magic from a whole different place, like the evil
Hmm.
place, because it kills all the most powerful witches. Killed her mom. It even shows her still in the brooch from her mom, and that's why
Yeah.
she has it. Kind of shows us that she was a witch all along. Um, After that, I kind of think
All
it
along.
flashes. It kind of flashes forward to her meeting Wanda. I think now back to Wanda, having her trapped in the
After
basement.
that, yeah, exactly. Yeah, have her trapped in the basement, and she, like, Wanda tries to use her powers on her, and she explains, like, the way she's talking to her is funny because, like, you can tell that she doesn't really know what's going on with Wanda, because she's like surprised that Wanda doesn't know these simple things, like the little glyphs and writing this on the wall that makes it where only the person who put them there can use their power and nobody else can. And
Hmm.
she was like, that's like kind of like which one. I forgot what she said. Exactly. She said that's like being a witch 101 type of thing. Like, why don't you
Right.
know this?
Right.
You know. And
Hmm.
it shows you that, to me, that was like an indication of, oh, okay, she doesn't know anything about Wanda yet. She's trying to figure Wanda out too,
Exactly.
which is,
Exactly.
so it was pretty dope. And then, like, she just demonstrated a little bit of her powers, how she can pick up Wanda with her powers, and
Yeah.
that damn beetle. What was it again? I don't know what kind of beetle it was, but it was like the way she was doing weird stuff with it. She made it get on her face. That shit
Right.
was
It looked like
horrible.
a big ass locust fly, and she
Yeah,
was
like
talking about like.
what
Go ahead.
I was trying to think of the name, but it's on the tip of my tongue of what kind of bug it was. I don't know why I know this fucking name, but I forgot the name of it. It's like I can't think of it right now, but I know what kind of bug it was. But just the fact that she had it on, like, she put it on her face and, like, made it walk around her face. In my head, I'm just thinking like, don't go in her nose.
Yeah, and she was kind of explaining how she can do, make the fly move. It's a basic transmutation spell. Made the fly turn into a bird,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I'm saying? And she was explaining to Wanda how she was doing basically this spell and more on everything in the town simultaneously without trying, without even knowing she's doing it. That's how powerful Wanda is.
Yeah,
She's doing transmutation spells, controlling people, doing illusions without even knowing she's doing it. That's how she thinks her magic came.
yeah,
She calls it chaos magic. That's where Wanda's magic comes from. It's more powerful
yeah.
than all the other forms of magic. So
That's what it seems like. And apparently, she's supposed to be. I don't know. She's trying to figure out how she's able to do this because clearly Agatha, my bad, is trying to obtain like a great deal of power.
exactly.
And it's some random person. It's like, how the hell did you do it? Was it grief? That she was
Right.
trying to figure everything out,
Yep.
And to me, to be honest, I think I got happy when I seen her open the door. Like she had the door there and told her to walk through it because I'm like, I already knew what was gonna happen. I'm like, okay, she's gonna do some backflash shit. And I
Right.
really
Yeah.
wanted to see some. To be honest, I really wanted to see a connection with Magneto. Kind
Right.
of upset because they didn't throw that in there, but in my head, I'm like, because they had the scene where she's a little kid.
Right.
That's the first door they go through, and they're showing them why she's like into these old movies because she's watching a bunch of old movies that her dad brought her.
All
But
the
in my head, I'm still,
sitcoms.
yeah, and they had a lot of stuff on there. They had, just like different eras, which makes sense. And I was thinking, no, maybe this guy is like not really her father. Maybe he's like, I don't know, it's just a good dude who took care of somebody else's kid for them, or or a situation like with I forgot the name of him. Wolverine, one of his kids was raised by, was it Captain Canada? I forgot the guy's name was, but he's like the dude who's like Captain America for Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But in the alternate universe, him and Wolverine were really good friends, and Wolverine had a kid. Wolverine left his kid with that guy and his wife, and that guy raised him as his own. And I'm thinking, well, maybe they could like use something like that for Magneto. Like Magneto was maybe friends with this dude and was like, hey, like take care of my kids for me because I'm clearly a fucking mutant who's like gonna be fucked with for the rest of my life. So just raise my kids. I'm hoping that would be dope, but I mean, we won't know, and MCU can do whatever they want to, really. But
I feel that, yeah. So yeah, just to backtrack what you were just saying. Agnes, or Agatha Harkness, wanted to find out why Wanda was so powerful. So she started just making her see all these flashbacks at different points in her life, just maybe thinking that she'll reveal how this power came to be, how this power manifested, or get hints to how she can manifest that type of power. So starting back when she was a little kid, and her parents died famously from a bombing from like Stark Industries. They accidentally bombed some civilian housing in
but I mean,
Oh.
it's not necessarily Stark Industry. I think it's just more of
They bought his weapons.
Because if you notice, like back in I forgot when it was, there was some boat that was destroyed in like World War I or II, and some of the damn weapons that were used were like they said USA on them.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly it wasn't. It was like one of our ships that got destroyed. But it was like, okay, so somehow they got our weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot which war it was, but so I mean, clearly like it was just his weapons were what did it, and that's what they saw. So they had a grudge.
Exactly. So they had a grudge against Stark.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So basically, one of the bombs hit their house, killed their parents. Then another one fell in and didn't explode right in front of her and her brother Pietro. She just thought it didn't explode and was a dud at first, but we later figure out, because we are in a flashback and Agnes and Wanda are there looking at it in a flashback fashion. So Agnes is asking, "What is that? A probability hex? Did you use that magic in order to keep it from exploding?" But that's what actually did happen. She was just so young, she didn't realize that her powers were doing that.
And if you think about it, that's an epic ass power to have.
Exactly.
Probability.
Yeah. But shit, not if it's 50-50. Just sometimes if it don't work, you might die sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
That'd be fucked up. Be a 90-10 probability spell. That'd be sick.
There you go.
But then the next scene they actually flash back to is when she's a teen, I believe. She looks the same in a lot of these adult scenes, but she's supposed to be a teen, and her brother actually join Hydra, and they're getting experimented on.
Yeah.
We see the Loki staff with we thought was the Tesseract in it.
No. It wasn't the Tesseract. That was the Tesseract was
Square.
the But what stone is that again? Is that the Power Stone, or what stone is
It
the
was the
Tesseract
Mind
again?
Stone that was inside. Oh, the
Yeah,
Tesseract is the I don't know what the
the
actual
square thing, and but that was Loki's staff. I forgot the name of it.
right.
It's the Mind Stone. I want to say the not the Power Stone. It's the I can't remember. I
Space
have to think of it.
Stone.
Space Stone. I think it might be. I can't remember the name of all the stones, but
But either way, in the movie in Avengers, the Tesseract was in there. But in this
it,
scene here, it was blue like the Tesseract. But as Wanda got close to it, because I guess there's been a bunch of trials for this thing. People, I don't know if they've been mutants or just people being close to the staff trying to reveal its secrets, but they've been dying as they got close to it. Once Wanda went inside,
mhm.
actually the thing started moving right when she stepped into the chamber. She didn't know what was going to happen, but the stone pops off the staff and it breaks open and it reveals that it's actually a Mind Stone inside. Once the Mind Stone reveals itself,
Mhm.
gets out of the little blue layer that it was in, it kind of goes into Wanda and she absorbs it and gets knocked out. During the experiment, she has some people from
Yeah.
Hydra watching, observing what's going on through a camera lens, but they don't see what actually happens inside. They just see her get knocked
It just kind
over.
of jumps, right?
Yeah, it jumps on the camera. It doesn't show her getting absorbed, like her absorbing the Mind Stone. It just kind of just goes inside of her, and then they don't really know what happened because she doesn't really manifest any powers right then. But
But
we kind of
it
know
also
something's going on.
it also shows her like a vision of herself, a vision of her
Oh yeah,
future
yeah,
self.
actually, yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it looks just like a silhouette of what we know as Scarlet Witch.
Exactly, coming down,
Little
kind.
headdress. Yeah.
Yep, kind of coming down, going inside her, kind of like similar to like the Phoenix Force when it came down and got in Jean Grey. She kind of sees it
Yeah.
manifest, and it kind of just goes inside of her, and it kind of shows us that this Mind Stone actually, multiplies the power she already has.
Uh-huh.
I think the next scene we go to, we see her and Vision have their first experience together inside the Avengers headquarters.
Oh
She
yeah.
is having a hard time grieving after her brother gets shot by, on I forgot exactly where they were during that time, but Ultron
Ultron
kills her.
and Sokovia.
Sokovia is where they were
Sokovia.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
He gets killed saving Green. I think it was Hawkeye and somebody else.
Hawkeye, a little
Yep.
kid.
Yep. Hawkeye and a little kid. He gets killed. So right after that trauma, Vision walks in to try to comfort her, and they have a first little kind of moment. He's comforting her, trying to make her feel better. He's having his first kind of human emotion. He's laughing. He's being comforting. He actually tells her that grief is love persevering. So grieving is not such a bad thing. It just lets her know that she actually is loving and she has feelings. So
Yeah.
don't be sad about grieving. It's just letting you know that you really love your brother. And it was a good scene because,
It was showing the start of their relationship and how they how that whole situation started. They were watching Malcolm in the Middle, which is always one of my I used to like
right.
that show.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then
So
actually,
it showed his like
Go ahead.
didn't understand. He didn't understand because he's like, oh, so you're laughing at this guy being gravely injured? And she's like, oh, it's not that type of show, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he actually, yep. And they kind of make a connection, have like a long, loving glare at each other. And then it
Yeah.
ends that scene. And then the next scene, it just shows her by herself, kind of like realizing that Vision is dead. She looks at this pamphlet that has like the layout of a house saying our new home or starts our life here, or some crazy shit like that. You remember what it said?
No, the next scene was her going to Sword. The next
Oh
scene was
yeah,
her going to
it did.
Sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sword. We realized that goes back to her. We thought she stole Vision's body from Sword
We didn't
headquarters.
think that's what the head of Sword said. He literally said that she stole it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, actually, yeah, because that's what they were trying
He
to get
showed
in there for.
he showed the video to Monica of her
Mhm.
breaking in, but like he didn't show the whole thing. Clearly, she didn't take him.
Right, because we didn't see him taking her taking him either. It showed her walking out hella angry. But we
Yeah.
do see the whole conversation with her and Hayward saying that he is not really a human, so he can't really be held to, his word as far as not wanting to, or being her being first of kin and her being liable for his body or whatever.
Yeah, he's pretty much property.
Yeah, pretty much sword property, since he is like one of the most dangerous sentient weapons on Earth, they say. But
And he's also vibranium, so which
exactly,
is like
they
one of the
really got
rarest
down to what they
metals on
really
Earth.
wanted him for afterwards. They say he's
Uh-huh.
some of the most valuable, most strong metals on Earth. We're not going to let it go to waste. So they're mining him
Yeah.
basically for his vibranium. She's not really feeling that. She wants to bury him, but they're not going to let him go, clearly. So she busts through the glass like shown on the video. That sword shows Monica Rambo and stuff. She just goes down there to see if she can reanimate him, bring him to life, or even just see any of his memories or anything like that.
Yeah.
She can't. She realizes that he's completely dead, so she just leaves. So she didn't steal his body at all. So there's some lying going on Sword's part.
Yeah, clearly. Which also reveals that also lets you realize that the vision that we've been seeing isn't the vision that we all remember or we all know.
Exactly. Because
Clearly
he's still on
she
that
had taken
table. Exactly.
And what's actually funny about that, just to break off on something different, well, something the same. If you know anything about Vision's like actual origins, like the real origins in the comic of Vision, he was originally Human Torch.
Really?
You know that?
Mm-mm.
So there was a scientist, I forgot what his name was, who created an android, a robot, and it was the Human Torch. It was the first Human Torch who used to fight with the Avengers and whatnot. And then eventually, when they make Ultron, this is like way later, and I think that Human Torch was decommissioned or something. Ultron wants to have a kid or wants to create, another version of Ultron or something like that. So he gets the information about that, but before that ever happened, somebody had cloned that Human Torch. So their histories were the same, but their futures were different.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave Ultron the coordinates to where that was at. Ultron went there, forced the other scientists to, bring him back. They put the mind of was it Mr. Wonderful or Mr. I forgot. There's a character who was bad that ended up turning good and dying. And before he died, the Avengers took his. I think it was a Pin, the Ant-Man, took his mind and put it in, like transferred his mind from his body because he wanted, the guy who was heroic and died. He wanted him to at least be remembered or something like that. So he took his mental out of him, and somehow Ultron put that mental into the Human Torch android, and it ended up giving him different powers and stuff. And then when he came to, he tried to fight Ultron, but he didn't know how to use his powers because originally he was a Human Torch. Mm-hmm. And now he got all these different powers, so he got his ass handed to him basically because he didn't know how to use them. But that's how Vision first started. So the fact that there was a clone version of the Human Torch, and one of them became Vision, and the other one just ended up, I don't know what happened to that one. So the fact that they have two different Visions now, one of them is ripped apart, and the other one is like the one that Wanda created. I think it kind of like is like a little homage to that.
I feel that. That's epic.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Learned something new today. But yeah, and then that brings us to the scene where Wanda is driving through Westview. We actually see Westview before she puts the hex on it. She has this pamphlet with the heart. Remember, we saw the heart on the first episode on the 23rd for a special day. The same kind of hearts on where she's driving to in Westview, where their house is the new life is supposed to start. It's marked something like our new life, start our new life here, or something that. She goes to the spot. She's driving through Westview. We're used to Westview being a poppin' place from the sitcoms throughout the series so far. So we see what it was before the hex is put over. It's kind of run down. We see a lot of the people that were inside the hex. So we realize they aren't actually dead. They were actually inside the town. They just got stuck in the hex, and they are, under Wanda's spell.
And the mailman was a pizza delivery guy. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, he wasn't really something different. We saw Herb. He was looking a little bummy. He looked way different than he was. Everybody looked sad. They were just kind of recovering. They're coming back from the snap and not knowing really what to do with their lives now. All kind of sad and dramatized.
Yeah, exactly.
So Wanda goes to where this heart is supposed to be, where their house is supposed to be. She just lets it all out. She breaks down, lets out all her feelings, and you start seeing all this chaos magic come out of her. It just comes out like a big explosion. And once it
Yeah.
explodes, she starts creating the house, the hex, everything we see from the early TV shows. It becomes the 60s sitcom version of it. Everything just starts becoming what we know from episode 1, letting us know that Wanda was the one to create all this stuff and turn everything into the sitcom version that it is now. And we
And she
actually,
also,
go ahead, you can go ahead and reveal
I
that.
was about to say, she also, like, one of the first things she creates is Vision, which
Right.
is, you know, and that was pretty dope because, like, while the house was being created, because she hadn't really hit the rest of the town yet, you just see him starting to form, and then the house and walls and stuff start forming too, which is cool. And then she hits everything. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, what the hell was the neighbors thinking, like, split seconds before this
Right.
happened? Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?
Yeah, shit.
And
Yeah.
that
That
would've
shit's epic.
sucked.
It was an epic reveal. It lets us know that she has a little part of the Mind Stone in her, so that's how she was able to reanimate Vision and make, I don't know, what her fusion, her transmutation spell, whatever it is that she's actually doing. That's how she was able to create another Vision.
Yeah, and not only that, she created like a actual being because he has his own thought and everything. And
Exactly.
she even created another Mind Stone because he has the
Exactly.
Mind Stone in his head. So
Yeah,
that's pretty
exactly. That's
epic.
what I thought. Since she embedded some of it in her DNA, I think it's like always a part of the Mind Stone in her, so she can create Vision. As long as she has the Mind Stone, she can create anything with her mind and make it reality. So as long as she has the Mind Stone, she's
Yeah,
able to give him a sentient brain. Is what I think is happening.
yes,
Um,
I like the fact that they're making her come out to be so far like as epic or close as epic as she is in the comic. Even though, of course, her powers are chaos and they're crazy, so it's not
mhm,
like she has control over it like Franklin Richards or something like that. But
mhm.
it's still like showing that she's on that level. She's epic already, and I mean, she created a fucking house from scratch and the
Right.
Vision, so that's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
It's epic. Kind of all tied back to the first episode where they
So
were in the
yeah,
60s, and it showed us how it got there, showed them sitting together and turning on the TV. And then at the end, you have Agnes in the back clapping, like, oh, perfect. This is how it happened. Thank you for showing
yeah,
me how this all began. I'm going to go try to, see what I can do to stir up some more trouble. And that's pretty much where it leaves us. Quick fun fact, though, since you talked
not
about,
really.
huh? well,
They didn't
well,
leave us there.
well, there's a mid credit scene, pretty
No,
much.
I mean, doesn't she walk outside after that? That
Mm,
wasn't mid credit, was it?
No, she doesn't walk outside. She just sees the lights from the scenes and stuff above her that she's sitting in the show again, and that her and I don't think she. Oh, actually, yeah, it does. She does stand up again.
Yeah, she
Because
walks
she.
out. No, she walks outside because Agnes goes outside and she like goes out there following her, and Agnes has her kids. Remember
Oh yeah,
that was
exactly. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. After
And she
that, after Agnes is clapping, she realizes, oh shit. Now, yeah, you are powerful. You started all this shit yourself. All this chaos magic is, kind of like you're the head witch. We're all witches. You're the Scarlet Witch. You're probably the head witch. So
well,
she
not that like she basically says it like it's a myth, like you're not even supposed to be real.
exactly.
This is
You
like
know what I'm
this is a
saying?
myth.
You're
Yeah,
you're the head shit. You know what I'm saying? So basically, she hears her kid screaming outside because Agnes disappears. Where the hell does she go? You know what I mean? So Wanda goes outside, and you see strings of magic attached to both of her kids, Billy and what's the other kid's name?
Tommy, I
Billy
think.
and Tommy around their necks. It's like Agatha is holding them back. She's flying in the air, holding them by the necks, holding them hostage, and she's like basically saying, "Yeah, you're supposed to be a myth. You're not supposed to be real. You're the Scarlet Witch." The first time we're actually hearing her actual comic book
Oh
name given to her.
yeah,
She's
they
being,
like they've hinted at it in the past, not really
uh-huh,
saying the Scarlet Witch, but they were like
uh-huh.
when I forgot which one it was. I want to say maybe it was Ultron, Age of Ultron, but I think they didn't call her Scarlet Witch, but they called her something else. I forgot what it was, but it was something related to that. But it never actually had been uttered calling her the
Mhm.
Scarlet Witch at all.
Until
And
now,
uh, and they show Agnes's what she looks like when she's in her normal state, like with the whole witch get up and the eyeliner and you
exactly.
know, yeah.
So it leaves us at another cliffhanger, letting us know that Agnes has her kids, and the Scarlet Witch name, the moniker is thrown out there. She is realizing that she's super powerful, and we don't know what's going to happen next. It's the last episode of the series, so it's going to be there's a whole bunch of tie-ins, a whole bunch of like tying up loose ends, hopefully,
Oh
or
wait, they did have a mid credit.
they did. They did. I'm gonna get into that in just in a little bit. I just wanted to tie in because you talked about Franklin
Yeah.
Richards. Agatha Harkness she did pose as a babysitter for the Fantastic Four, and she was a babysitter for Franklin Richards to make sure his powers didn't get too out of hand. It's one of those things in
Oh,
the comic books that
in the
I learned.
comics?
Yeah, yep, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's dope.
Yeah, so that's why I think maybe that engineer is going to be Reed Richards still towards the end, because Agatha does have a tie-in with the Fantastic Four from being the babysitter.
Yeah.
But that's maybe, I don't know. We still don't know who actually is going to be, but we are left there, and then the credits kind of roll after Agatha tells Wanda she's actually the Scarlet Witch. And then the mid-credit scene, which is actually one of the more revealing mid-credit scenes we've had so far. We go back to Sword and Hayward, and he's been hinting to some of his constituents, some of his soldiers, that the project is ready. We launch at this time. We need to launch the project now. We cut back to him, and he said, "We're gonna launch the project now."
Well, not only that, but he mentioned that we tried to pull this. We took them apart and put them together multiple times and never got to work. And now all we needed was just power from the source.
Right. And basically it did reveal also that they sent that drone in there because they knew that she would send it back with magic on it. They extracted it with the magic on it, and that's what they needed to have their project run. That's the power they needed to make their project run. They flip this switch and they go to the reveal that they actually have built a new Vision, but he was all white, and they turned the switch on and he came alive, and they have another Vision. There's two Visions now. We don't know what's going to happen. The Sword have created Project Cataract. Go ahead.
He's the original Vision. And if you notice that when Vision died in not Endgame, but Infinity Wars, he turned like gray. Mm-hmm. Remember? Like he lost all his color. So now they brought him back. And that's actually do you know anything about that version of Vision?
Yeah, I did watch a review video afterwards, and it's supposed to be him with no memory of himself. It's supposed to be the opposite of how he was.
Yeah, he has no emotions, or anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he is an actual person from the comics too. So I think a theory people are saying now is that in order to get rid of this white android, probably bad Vision that Sword has created, the manifestation one that Wanda created is going to have to fight him and kill. They have to take each other out in order to stop the white one from killing Wanda and their family. It's probably going to be a team up effort to try to get, Agatha out of there. It's probably going to be Pietro. It's probably going to end up being a good guy. Monica Rambeau and Scarlet Witch are all probably going to team up against Agatha and Sword.
Vision. What is this new stone in his head that you think about? I'm trying to figure out what that was.
The new stone.
He has like a triangle stone in his head instead of the Mind Stone now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that? Is that just for show, or is that actually something that maybe it's a weapon or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I just hope it's not Ultron, man. I hope they didn't reanimate Ultron. That's all.
Yeah, because if anything, we know about Ultron, he was like way more dominant in the comics than he was in the movie. Way more dominant.
Yeah. So some of my personal hunches are either, Mephisto is Hayward, or Ultron is Hayward, or they're trying to animate Ultron by using Vision's part and Mephisto and Ultron together.
Or maybe like Mephisto is like manipulating Hayward, because of all the grief he went through with the snap and making him do all this stuff, which would be dope.
Right. And those radio waves inside the hex are the shit that's keeping Wanda in this, and controlling Agatha, making her do this stuff to Wanda. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I don't know about that, because Agatha in the comic has her moments of actually just being bad, and then she has moments of being. I don't want to say bad. It's just that like her agenda is like number one for her. So if her agenda goes against what you're doing, then she's technically bad.
I feel that. So. I feel that. Well, that's where we have episode 8. After the end credit scenes, it takes or the mid credit scene, it took us to the, to the credits, and just lets us know that Vision, or White Vision, is coming to gentrify Westview.
I think it's Spectral Vision. Is that what it's supposed to be? Spectral Vision.
I don't know the name actually, to be honest. But with that ends our WandaVision review. But before we get up out of here, I wanted to ask you a couple little shit. Are you stoked for Winter Soldier and what was it? Falcon and Winter Soldier? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah. Well, as far anything that Disney Plus puts out that I can watch that doesn't like encourage me to cancel my Disney Plus because they don't put out much stuff on there. It's like so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I actually can't wait, and it's gonna be a couple weeks without it, so we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping that somehow they make this show tie into that in some way.
I
You
heard
know,
that they have a Spider-Man tie-in coming soon too. They have Spider-Man. They dropped the name for the new Spider-Man. What was it? No Way Home,
uh,
something like that.
yeah, No Way Home. Yeah, that's right. That's what it's called, No Way Home. Yeah,
Right. So they're gonna tie in a little bit of WandaVision into that because they are gonna be dealing with multiverses. So maybe they are gonna bring
yeah,
X-Men into it, saying that they
because
Agatha pulled them through the multiverse. Something
it,
like that.
they kind of already did it a little bit with was that Venom at the end? They had the Vulture in it, wasn't it? He was in the end of another movie. I can't remember which movie it was. The mid credit scenes. They wasn't part of the MCU, but they
Oh,
still had.
it was Carnage.
It was Carnage, okay, yeah, but they had Carnage, but they also had like he like walked past, and it was Michael Keaton, the Vulture's character. He was in prison,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I tell you they're gonna have some kind of like something's gonna have to deal with that. So that's already one part of the MCU in like a different universe version of it because
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're gonna have to figure out a way to use Venom in that. So that'd be epic. I hope they do that.
And then, what are you excited for the Zack Snyder cut Justice League 4 hours?
Yeah, very much. Because when I watched the Justice League, I forgot that I watched it. Like I'm sitting there and like people are talking about it on some video I was watching, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen that movie, but I don't remember anything they're talking about.
I don't either.
So
I don't remember it at all,
yeah,
really.
I had to go back and rewatch it, and I didn't hate it. I remember the first time. Apparently, I forgot it, so I clearly didn't like it that much. But when I watched it the second time, I didn't hate it, but I just seen like a lot of issues with it. It was a lot of issues that was like they like for them to be a big budget movie place, they could have did a lot better. Then when I saw the preview for the Jack Snyder cut, I was like, that's what they were supposed to do. What the fuck were they thinking?
Yep.
Like, why did they not go with this in the first place? And so
Yeah.
it made me really real hyped about that.
All right.
So,
What about Mortal Kombat trailer? Did you see that one?
I know you're gonna say that. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. I seen that the day the trailer came out. Chris is super hyped about it. He's been
That
watching a bunch of
shit was
yeah.
nice. That shit was clean.
Yeah.
And they kept Scorpion from those videos that they made, like those fan videos they made on
Yeah.
on YouTube. So when those characters used to fight each other, they used to put I forgot what they used to put, but they actually video game characters and stuff, but they act Power Rangers and stuff, but there was actual people fighting.
Yeah.
They actually had one with Scorpion and the Asian dude from 47 Ronin and all that shit. He was
The one
actually
from
Scorpion.
Last Samurai.
Yeah, he was actually
Yeah.
Scorpion.
He's older now, which is dope. He's also he was in that. He was Scorpion
was
in those fan made ones too.
And they actually brought that character to the actual movie, which is hella dope. Because they made I think it was a trailer
That is dope
for like some Mortal Kombat movie, but it was like a fan trailer that never came out. Do you remember those? They had little shorts for Mortal Kombat.
I remember the ones with Michael Michael, what's his name again?
Michael J. White.
Yeah. But that wasn't the same guy. That wasn't the same guy. That was a different guy that played Scorpion in there.
Are you sure? Because in the preview when you send it to table,
the ones with Michael J. White, the guy who played Scorpion in there is he has American accent. Like when he talks, he has an American accent. He actually doesn't know martial arts in real life, but he doesn't look like he does. He's a younger dude. He's a lot younger.
Okay.
I forgot what else he's played in other stuff too, but I want to say I can't remember. He played in some other stuff. I can't remember. It's not the same guy. The guy that is playing Scorpion in the trailer that I saw for the new Mortal Kombat is the same dude from Rush Hour. He was in Rush Hour 1.
Yeah. Rush Hour 2.
So,
no.
Rush Hour 2. Was it 2? It was one of the ones, but he also played the samurai. You ever seen The Last Samurai?
He's in a lot of shit. He was in 47 Ronin 2 with fucking Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, the guy who played that one was a lot younger.
Okay. But yeah, the preview, Sub-Zero, when he stabbed dude, made the blood come out and stabbed him with his blood.
That was Scorpion he stabbed. That was
whoa.
That was epic. The way he just caught it and gave it to him. Yeah.
And then they
And he
had
ripped off Jack's arms.
Yep, and now that's how he got his metal arms out. That's gonna be so dope. I can't wait to see that.
Kato didn't have the eye. That was weird. Did you notice
He did.
that?
I did see him do that. He shot the
No, no, no,
laser out
no.
of it.
He shot the laser out, but when they showed him, he didn't have nothing on his eyes. His face was plain.
Oh, so he just came out with the laser. I didn't have the metal part.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna show how he gets it or something. I don't know.
I feel that. And I didn't see
And
Johnny Cage either.
I did not. And they have this new character they made up named Cole, which is weird, but I guess. Yeah, I thought it was stupid when they was like, "Yeah, this is my birthmark." Like, really, dude? Do you see what the hell is on your chest? That's a birthmark. Like, I don't think so. I can understand if you have a birthmark that resembles Africa or a continent, but you have a birthmark that is literally a fucking circle and a dragon in the middle. Okay.
That's a birth tattoo.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But so that was I liked what I really liked was the way they had Liu Kang and Kung Lao and stuff, and how they like really like represented the video game version. They even had Liu Kang doing that move with the fire dragon comes out the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it closely, you see that he's fighting against what is that dude's name again? The one with the mask on who had the two swords who could run really fast.
Kenchi?
No. The two swords. Kenchi only had one sword. He had two swords that they were like swords with these little weird hooks on them at the end. They were like hook swords.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
Run real fast. I forgot what his name was, but that's who he was fighting against on there. So I kind of didn't like that because I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna make that guy like a bit character when he shouldn't. He's actually like a main character in the game, not a main character, but he is like a playable character. So, but other than that, like the violence, dope. Like they actually got a fucking Asian Raiden, awesome. Love that shit. I'm tired of them whitewashing people all the time. It's like, just let them be whatever they are. Like the same when they do that with Fury was okay, but they don't always have to make characters black just to piece people. Just bring in black comic characters like with Black Panther, or Blue Adam. I think that's his name, Blue Adam or Blue Marvel, whatever his name.
Blue Marvel's dope. It's Blue Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna bring him in because that dude's like
OP.
Super OP. And if they bring him in, that means they're eventually going to bring his son in, who's even more OP than him. I don't know if you know anything about his son, but the way he got his power was like he was a scientist and he went to some portal, but he was only in it for a little while and came out with all that power. His son got stuck in it for years.
Damn.
So when he finally comes out, his son is going to be stupid OP.
Damn. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
That Marvel has been doing making a lot of other characters who are of different races and stuff that they could bring in now. Like they have I think it's gonna be a Miss Marvel, but she's like Indian or something. The one that can stretch
Kamala
and stuff.
Khan. Yep.
You heard her?
Yeah. Kamala Khan. She's in the new Avengers game. She's like the main character.
Yeah. So I like it better when they do that instead of just making characters that we already know, like a different race, like with Spider-Man, for example. Like they, instead of making Peter Parker black, they just made another Spider-Man that was black, which I thought was dope, and they even gave him more powers than Peter Parker, which is crazy. Yeah,
that is kind of crazy. I always thought Miles Morales was kind of like, you turn invisible, you got fucking venom strikes, like electricity strikes.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And but, I think his webs come out of his hands. I have to look that up, but I think they do.
Damn.
So
I feel that. Look it up. Last preview, and I'll let you get out of here. Coming to America. I think it comes out next Thursday. You excited for that? Coming to America 2?
Not really.
No?
Only because like it would be like if they made like a sequel to The Last Dragon. Like I don't really want them to make sequels to cult classics because I feel like it kind of damaged them a little bit. Like you have big shoes to fill. Even though it's the same characters and stuff, you still like you have big shoes to fill, and it's like, look what they did with the Bad Boys. The last one, that one was toilet water.
Yeah, that's fucking weak.
To me, like it does it injustice to the previous one. So if they're gonna do it, they have to do it right, and it's gonna be really hard because it's a whole different era. So you can't use the same type of comedy style and stuff. A lot of stuff that slid back then can't slide now.
I got you.
And people aren't as people nowadays are too sensitive, so you can't like. That's why I think comedy is so blah now because you have to like watch what you say, and it's I don't know. I feel like maybe if they made a remake, I would have been okay with it, but for them to just make a sequel to it, it's like you got a lot to live up to. Look what they did with freaking Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And they did the same thing with Ocean's 11 or whatever and made Ocean's 8. Yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
even watch it.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
pretty
watch that
bad.
one. What was that one?
It was like freaking
Huh?
Ocean's 11 with fucking Sandra Bullock and a bunch of females, and they think Rihanna was in it, just remade.
Oh.
They did the same thing
Wait,
with.
wait, wait. How was that? Wait. It was Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, she was supposed to be
You should,
George Clooney's sister.
but no, no. Wait, George Clooney's sister was what's her name? Um, Pretty Woman girl. What's her name again?
Uh, Julia Roberts.
Yeah, she was in one of the
I thought it was
Ocean's
that was
movies.
a love interest.
Oh, was it? Okay, maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Okay.
So I think Sandra Bullock wasn't even in any of them. They just made a whole new character and said it like, oh, here's his sister, and she had
Oh,
her
that's
own
stupid.
crew,
Okay.
and yeah, it was kind of bad. And they did the same
Yeah,
thing with Charlie's Angels. They recast that with a bunch of bullshit ass characters, and they thought it
yeah.
was gonna be the same thing. But yeah, hopefully it's good. It's really anticipated right now. A bunch of these straight to theatrical, straight to streaming service movies are
Well,
getting a
they have
lot
no
of
option.
yeah. People, the movie theaters, people are, putting a lot of money back into AMC because they're trying to open back up after this vaccine is coming out and shit. And I mean, they might get my money because I might be taking my ass right over there, sitting in those like layback seats and watching these movies on the big screen. They need to lower their prices though. They need to lower them
Yeah,
prices.
they do be going a little outrageous with them prices, and
But
then everything still be expensive.
yeah, that's how they make their money. It's off concessions. That's why they're not even tripping about the monies being, straight to streaming. The theaters need the money from all them concessions and all them arcade games. That's how they make all their money. Because those fucking theaters can buy out as many, like if they wanted to, say Marvel came out with Endgame, they could buy out
Yeah,
hell of those theaters just for Endgame, and they wouldn't be making money off those other movies. So they got to make their money off them concessions. So, yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I'll be back in there soon. But this is the point where we like to tell everybody where to find you at. Go ahead and let them know where to find you at, sir.
Only on Instagram, I guess. That's is it Akil Young? I don't remember what it is anymore. Yeah, I think it's Akil Young or Akil Green.
This is like
AKIO.
I think it's a AKIO Young on
Yeah.
Instagram. I think that's where you find him at. If not, you can just search on the Best of Bias podcast and find him under there. He's a follower
Yep.
and I follow him. So either way, you can find him out there. And he's starting to edit our videos too. So big ups to him. He did a great job on our last WandaVision episode, throwing in the pictures and the jumps and the edits. And it's just going to go up from here, man, because it's looking great. I got like a bunch of views, not really a lot. Our views are getting up there now on YouTube. So the more we promote this, the more people get on YouTube, the more we will actually start, putting more into these videos and getting the visual out there, man. Because it started out as only audio, but for people who ain't got the podcast, the apps or stuff like that to listen, and they want to see our faces and kind of like put a name to a face. That's what we get these videos out for. But you know where to find me at. It's your boy SAC_Lydell on Instagram. On Snapchat, it's Patrick_Lydell. For the Best of Bias podcast on Instagram, you just search that name, Best of Bias, and you'll find me on Instagram. For the website, it's under the same title, bestofbias.com. You can get all the podcasts there. I think I'm going to start putting the videos up on that website too, just so if you can, if you don't have YouTube, you don't want to search YouTube, just type in Best of Bias. You can find all the videos on there. We have posts, we have chat rooms. Go in there and discuss the episodes. Talk about what you saw. Tell us what we need to do better. Tell us what we are doing good. We'll probably listen to what we're doing good better than what we need to do better because we don't want to hear the hate. Constructive criticism only. But yeah, thebestofbias.com on YouTube. Plenty of videos there. Go check out the last WandaVision. Anime Kumite coming out real soon. I don't know when we're going to record that. Whenever you're available, we're doing Blade versus Zoro from One Piece. Everybody knows who Blade is. We're going to get that battle out. Everybody loved the first one. I've gotten a lot of comments on how good the first battle was, Anime Kumite. It's not going to always be anime characters. We'll try to get at least one anime character in every time, but an anime character will be battling a Marvel, DC, any other characters that we know from television, toys. We can do anything. We're still going to do rappers. We can do snacks if we want. It don't matter what we want to do. The sky's the limit. Bias is the limit. But thank you.
DMX versus Batman.
You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter. From Def Jam, what's the fighting game? You can get
Def Jam Vendetta. There you go.
But yeah, Thank you, AKA, for being here for another episode. Like I said, Anime Kumite coming real soon. Sports episode coming real soon. Another challenge episode coming real soon. All that shit's all over the place. Go check it out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, website. Word of mouth, baby. Let's get it. It's the Best of Bias podcast. I'll see you next time. Where my theme song at? Hey.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell